Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back to another amazing Bible adventure. Today, we're going to learn about some of the most legendary giants in the Bible, the Anakim. These giants were known for their great size and strength, and they lived in the land of Canaan. But don't worry, this story isn't scary. It's full of lessons about courage, faith, and how God is always stronger than any giant we may face. The Anakim were a group of giants mentioned in the Bible. They were descendants of a man named Anak, and that's how they got their name, Anakim. These giants were very tall and powerful, much taller than regular people. They lived in the southern part of Canaan, especially around a city called Hebron. People who saw the Anakim were amazed and sometimes even frightened because of their size. Can you imagine seeing someone so tall that you had to bend your neck all the way back just to see their face? That was what the Anakim were like. After God brought the Israelites out of Egypt, He promised them a special land, the land of Canaan. This was the promised land, a place flowing with milk and honey. But there was a challenge. When the Israelites got close to the land, Moses sent 12 spies to explore it. The spies looked at the cities, the fields, and the people who lived there. And guess what they saw? The Anakim, the giants of Canaan. When the spies came back, they told the Israelites what they had seen. They said, "The land is good, but the people are very strong. And we saw the descendants of Anak there. We felt like grasshoppers compared to them." Can you imagine? The spies were so afraid that they forgot God's promise. Only 2 spies, Joshua and Caleb, believed that God was bigger than any giant. They encouraged the people, saying, "We can surely take the land because God is with us." Sadly, most of the Israelites listened to their fear instead of trusting God. Because of this, they had to wander in the desert for 40 years before entering the promised land. This teaches us something important. When we focus on how big our problems are, we can feel small and afraid. But when we focus on how big God is, we can have courage and faith. The Anakim continued to live in Canaan, especially around Hebron. They were famous warriors, and their presence made many people fear going into battle against them. The Bible says their cities were large and well protected, and everyone thought they were unbeatable. But here's the truth. No giant, no matter how tall, can stand against the power of God. After Moses died, Joshua became the leader of Israel. God told Joshua to be strong and courageous, and He promised to be with him wherever he went. When the Israelites finally entered the Promised Land, they faced the Anakim. The giants were still there, standing tall and ready to fight. But Joshua trusted God's promise. With faith and bravery, the Israelites went into battle. And do you know what happened? The Anakim were defeated. Joshua and the Israelites drove them out of the land. The Bible says Joshua cut off the Anakim from the mountains of Hebron, from Debir, from Anab, and from all the land of Judah and Israel. There were no Anakim left in the land, except in a few cities, like Gaza, Gath, and Ashdod. And from Gath came one of the most famous giants in the Bible, Goliath, who later fought against David. Do you remember Caleb, the spy who trusted God? When Caleb was 85 years old, he was still strong and full of faith. He went to Joshua and said, "Give me the hill country that God promised me. The Anakim live there, but with the Lord's help, I will drive them out." And that's exactly what Caleb did. With God's strength, he conquered Hebron, the land of the Anakim. This shows us that it's never too late to trust God and be brave. The story of the Anakim teaches us many lessons. 1. Giants may look strong, but God is stronger. 2. Fear makes us feel small, but faith makes us brave. 3. When we trust God's promises, we can face any challenge. 4. Like Joshua and Caleb, we can have courage no matter how big the obstacles. The Anakim were giants of Canaan, but their story reminds us of a greater truth. God is always bigger than any giant we face in life. Whether our giant is fear, doubt, or a big challenge, we can trust God to give us strength and victory. Thank you for joining today's Bible adventure. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more wonderful stories. Until next time, remember, with God, you can be brave and overcome anything.